Wait, now I have coughs. Uh-oh. Woo woo. Let's see if this worked finally. Was having a little bit of technical difficulties. Dun, 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 dun. Look, I have colors of autumn on my shirt. It's kind of like a dirty mustard. Let's see here. I need to check. What is this? That's off. That's good. We don't want that on. We don't want that on. Woo! Okay, now I just send notifications really quick because I can sometimes remember to do that. Hey, look, it's not on emote only mode, I think, right? And then I'll go over here and I'll post in the channel and say, hey, I'm up. I'm doing stuff. So yeah. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm positive about that. You want to post it for reals? I do. Happy Thanksgiving just for Jay. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Mr. Ferret. Well, I added the Mr. Ferret part. I can't hear you. No, you should be able to, Small. I can't hear you. Never mind, fixed it. Oh, okay. Wow, Fred Arts!
Furry Feed Artist just resubscribed for 17 months. Dance till you're D. Party popper, party popper, party popper.
Party popper. Thank you, Furry Fred Arts, for resubscribing 1 month, tier 1, and being subscribed for 17 long months. Oh, look, I can see like the chat in the upper hand corner. Hello, Taylor. I ate too much. Oh, wait, I was reading the wrong message. Just for Jay says I ate too much. Just for Jay, I ate too much too. My belly is very, like, out. It's out more. Well, it's not very. Well, it is out, trust me. I am very full too. I ate way too much. Who is this? Drew. Hello, Drew. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. What's going on here? And then Taylor says, hey, Ziggbee, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Those who celebrate it, hopefully, to be thankful for all the wonderful things we have and food and great stuff. Costume one at Thanksgiving, Ziggbee. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. It's not like super particular to Thanksgiving, but I guess I am doing it during Thanksgiving. So I guess it makes it It makes it Thanksgiving related. I'm sorry, Pumpkin Cat. I can't really throw you. It doesn't work. Isn't there a pillow over here that does that? No, there is not. Does this one float? Yeah, unfortunately, it just floats. Never mind with this one either. Wow, what? What's this?
Bingus
What's this?
2024 just
What is it?
resubscribed for 21 months. Happy Thanksgiving and happy 21 months.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for tier 1 and be subscribed for 21 long months. Thank you for that very much. It's a long time. How long is 2 years? Oh, it's 24. You're close to a year, actually. 2 years. Luna Bean. I'm so close to this camera. Hello, Luna Bean. Thank you for resubscribing. Let's see here. With your Prime and being subscribed for 16 long months. Everybody ride the hype train. Choo choo. Actually, let me try my sound effect thing if it works. Oh, there's another one. Adrian Fox.
Adrian Fox, so just resubscribed for 24 months. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Thank you for your 1 month tier 1 subscription for 24 complete 2 year subscription. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian Fox. Hype, big hype. Let's see if we can get the sound effects. Okay. Well, I don't know if I can. We'll try that. Let's see. If I push, might be this. Why am I trying to grab I'm trying to grab something. No, I don't want to grab the witch's hat. I don't want to grab the witch's. Okay, actually, it matches my outfit a little bit. Woo. Well, that's fancy one. I'll put this over here. I might use that. That's a good prop. Let's see if this works. Oh, I don't hear anything. Do you hear a horn? No? Okay. Wait, what if I do sound here? I probably have to go to. Oh my gosh, I'm moving things. Don't say you're gonna wreck up all the sounds. Okay, go down. Go down. What's that? Is that my audio too? I don't know how to do this. Okay, I didn't do it right, everybody. I didn't do it right. Maybe I go into settings. I can change my voice possibly. We'll go to input. The output should be my headset. And the input should be my headset. Now, let's see. Input and output. Let's try this, see what that does. I don't think you can hear it, but I can hear it in my headset. Let's try a voice modification really quick too. See if that's working. Out of curiosity, I got technology. How do I get to the top of the list? I keep scrolling up, but it's going down. What? Scroll. Okay. I'm gonna have to focus really hard on this to grab the scroll wheel. There we go. Which one should I do? I'll do the narrator voice. Let's see if this works. Testing. Testing 1, 2. Let's see. I'll turn off the input so I can just talk normally. Does it sound like my voice is different now? Struggles. Yeah, struggles are real. You can do it? What do you mean, Grumpy Like, and I can do it? I can tell you a wonderful story and amazing voices? Of course I can. Now there's feedback. Oh no. There's feedback? Now stop moving the things! You sound like Ziggbee. Is it working? Hello? Hello? No feedback here. Is my voice changed? Is it changed by chance? Or is it the same? I also have... I'm gonna have to watch the stream to figure out if it even is working. Never back down, never what? Oh wait, that's me. Wait, what? It's the same. Okay, forget it. I'm turning off the voice thing then. It's not working correctly. I tried. Wait. Oh, maybe I need the output to go somewhere else. No. Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know. Wait, let me look at it again. Output. It does say that's outputting to the index, and the input is the digital blah 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 blah. Okay, I'll try it later maybe. Open mind to see what I could do. Okay, that's cool, Sam, and you got it too. Whoa, I just saw my paw and I scared myself. I'll close that. That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna play with it more and figure out how to get it to work. Sounds fun. Sounds like Ziggbee, no feedback. Oh, thank you for using Dazzle. What are those Dazzle Stars things that are being requested right now? Dazzle Stars, believable bubbles. Want some Dazzle Stars? So I will produce them for you. Bam! I don't know why I'm saying bam. I don't know. Yeah, where does that come from? Bam. Isn't that a person that cooks on TV a long time ago? Anyways, no shame and a little scuff. There's always scuff on this stream. It's got plenty of scuff. Costume One says, I have to work on Black Friday, so I'm wearing an ugly llama Christmas sweater. Oh, be safe on Black Friday. Jeez. That's a dangerous time to be working. It's a dangerous time to be working. Because people sometimes go a little bit wild for some sales and go to stores and stuff. But truthfully, most of the deals are not that great deals. They just say they're Black Friday or door busters, and they're usually not that impressive typically. But yeah, well, except sometimes. Like sometimes software, like the voice model was on sale, and Sam was kind enough to tell me that was having a deal sale. Woo-hoo-hoo. Am I missing anything else? Oh, I gotta take that. There's also a Ziggbee dance from Luna Bean. Okay, I'll do a little dance, okay? That you get your little dance. I'm gonna need some water too, by the way. I need some water really quick. Give us discount groceries. Gosh darn it, I don't need no TV. Oh, discount groceries would be nice. I don't think they have Black Friday deals at grocery stores because, yeah, they're not. Yes. What is this? Just for Jay. I'm here. Oh, it's delayed. That's what's going on here. It's delayed. Let's see what it says. Hype train complete at 22%. Your community contribute. Oh, that's that message is reading it to me. Thank you. Wait, I can't hear the other thing anymore. Thank you to Just for Jay for the resubscribing 1 month tier 1 subscription, being subscribed for 23 long months. It says 17 people have. What? No, I'm not gonna read that. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna skip that part. Patreon rat, thank you for resubscribing 1 month tier 1 and being subscribed for 30 months. Let's see here. 30 months. We're getting so old. No, we're just leveling up. We're getting stronger. We get better gear or wisdoms or spiritual stuff. Mainly intangible things, because it's hard to get tangible stuff sometimes. To be fair, intangible stuff is more valuable than tangible stuff, unless you need food and water, but that's pretty important. But anyways, yes. Yes. What is this? Hello. Okay. And if you pull sweet, what are you talking about? You jump in random channels and say Purple Dragon. Hey Ziggbee, hasn't been here in ages, like a year maybe. I miss you. Well, welcome back, Purple Dragon. Where have you been? We've been gone for a whole year. That's a long time. Furry Fried Art says random. For some reason, your outfit gives me coffee vibes. Maybe I'm just craving coffee. Well, to be fair, I'm probably gonna try to get some coffee later. I'm thinking of mocha coffee with a shot of espresso, and that's what I'm gonna probably have later. I might have a donut too, but I kind of ate so much already today. I don't know if I'm gonna eat even more, but I might as well. It's on Eat Day, right? Eat Food Day. Tick. Talk VT, your new fall outfit is so cute. Oh, thank you. Let me change it up a little bit more. That's the wrong button. We're gonna change it up. Let's see, who do I want to be? Ooh, oh, that's not green right now. We can. There you go. Now it's red. Red, like, I don't know. Coffee. Okay, what we're doing today is I'm gonna show some fan art and try to do hashtag ads for a while, for a few seconds, not very long. And then I'll tell you what my plans are later too. You wanna see some fan art? I said, I wanna hear some hype. I guess I can't hear you yell, can I? Do you wanna see some fan art? What's that say? You're looking fly. Oh, thank you. I think you're saying that to me, right? I'm more like Xmas now, or a red fall leaf. Yes. That's kind of like Christmas, kind of almost looking. Yes. I heard a sound effect from a Discord. What's going on in Discord? Don't switch. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Would you work out? Would you work out, Sandman? You were doing the voice mod thing? Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Oh, and I'm gonna do. What do you call it? Once I figure out what it is, I'll go to this one. Why is it going dark? Why can't I see? Oh, did I delete it? Oh no, that's not good. That's not very professional. What if I add? Hold please. What is that called? The scene? Yeah, it's called a scene. We want to add TikTok live to the scene. Thank goodness, because that would have been lame. Put it at the bottom. We're going to lock that too so you can see me. Okay, now let's see the fan art, shall we? You all ready for this? Hi, Ziggbee. I haven't caught a stream in months. Hope you are doing well. May I have some boops to go to sleep? Yes, you can. Boop, 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 boop. And a little bit Dazzle Stars as bonus, okay? Okay, I need hydration. Thank you, TikTok VT. Thank you for the get some water. I need some water for reals. I'm gonna take a little sip. I'm gonna take a little sip of water really quick. I'm putting off the art stuff because I'm being distracted, everybody. Kicks, I see a request for kicks, Nerdy Nanny. You are being really impatient. No, I'm just kidding, that's fine. You know, sometimes I don't redeem things after half an hour or longer because I'm not a very good streamer. I will after I drink, okay? So good to see you, Small. Small. So generous. So generous. Was that from like Aladdin? The animated cartoon one? Alright. I would do grunty kicks for you, Nerdy Nanny. Okay. Let me see, make sure I'm not gonna actually kick through a wall or something. Okay, that's what you get. That's what you get, Nerdy Nanny. That's your more kicks. That's too many kicks. That was like 3 almost. One professional out of all of them, honestly. Early custom goodnight request. Hi Ziggbee, I haven't caught a stream in months and I hope you, oh, actually I read that in chat, didn't I? Oh, Valerie, if you're still here, I'm yelling. Valerie, sleep well. Have good dreams, okay? Have good dreams, all right? I've been trying to do, does anyone know what reality checks are? I'm gonna share with you what a reality check is. Whoa, actually let me ask you, does anyone know what a reality check is? It's related to dreaming and stuff. It's related to dreaming. Everyone redeeming chaos, and I'm here for it. Grunty kicks from Costumed One. Okay, I'll do some more grunty kicks. Okay. Is that a pretty big one? Group hug costume. Come here. Come here. I'll give you group hugs, all right? Only if you want. Only if you want. I'm getting super close, uncomfortably close. But that's you and you hugs. There you go. You get some Thanksgiving holiday hugs. There you go. And also, I'm very proud of all of you for hanging in there, because life is hard, okay? But thank you for hanging in there, okay? There you go. I'll give you hugs. Only if you want. We miss you. Well, I'm right here. Since no one answered my question, I'm very disappointed. No, just kidding. I'll tell you what reality check is, because I'm just, oh my gosh, anonymous tip. I don't think it was anonymous. Thank you for the very generous. Very generous. Let me see who did that though, so I can make them not anonymous. I bet I can figure out who it is. Let's see. Why is there, what? It says there's 2 on here. That doesn't make any sense. Refresh. Someone better not gave it to me twice. That's way too, okay, it was once. It just duplicated by mistake. It's 1. Who did that come from? Let's see, does it say who it came from? If I click it? No, it just says anonymous. No, that's not who sent it. Was there an, okay, they're not confused. Well, thank you. Thank you, anonymous, for the very generous, who was it? It were me. Why are you going anonymous? Grumpy Lycan, thank you. Anonymous Moose? Grumpy Lycan, was it you? Greg, thank you, Grumpy Lycan. You gave me the very generous tip. That's a huge one. Thank you so much for that. You gotta do that. I guess you know that. I'm not the boss of anybody. It's me, Grumpy Lycan. It's a Grumpy Lycan. Dogs cramps. What about Moose? Okay, listen. Reality check. This I'm gonna forcibly bring this subject into chat because I could do what I want. A reality check is when you periodically throughout your waking time stop and question the nature of. Okay, maybe I shouldn't share this. Anyways, no, we're moving on. Sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. I shouldn't be saying this stuff. It's not terrible though. It's so to help you to get lucid dreaming, basically. Never mind. Anyways, let's look at the art, okay? Oh no. No, what do you mean, oh no? Okay, the first art I'm gonna show. Okay. Let's see who it is. If I can click it, that is. Okay, there we go. It's Paige Mustang. I gotta peek over here. It's Paige Mustang. I gotta crouch a little bit because chat's up here. Hello, chat. How you doing up here? How you doing? This is a drawing that was done by Paige Mustang, and there was a D&D session, and I did some doodles. They were doing some Ziggbee doodles, and they're adorable before the session started. Isn't that cute? I love the little dice around me too. I love dice. I actually have some dice, by the way. I guess most people have dice because they're fun to play with or just have like treasure. Thank you, Paige Mustang, for making beautiful art and letting me share it on stream. And hopefully the D&D adventures are fun that you've been having. This is from a while ago, though, everybody. This has been from a while ago. I just didn't show it on stream yet. Show me the next fan art. If I can click it right this time. Okay, right there. Okay, I can't. Oh gosh, I can't even see chat. Chat's being covered. That's okay, chat. I'm sorry, chat. This is Get Freaked, at Get Freaked. That's who the artist is. And on the right there's a beautiful Halloween one, and on the left is the one of how Get Freaked feels when they hear, I think, the Christmas music starting early. What was it? Was it Marley? No, who was it? Who is the singer? It's not like it's not like because you're hearing the music too early and you're like, oh no, it's starting too early. That's what it is. Maybe I should just open Discord and tell you really quick. Don't I have Discord open? I should go into the Ziggbee server, go into, let's see, the section is fan art at the top, I believe, in the Ziggbee section. And if I click on that and go to the top, oh, there it is. This is how I feel when I hear Mariah Carey right after Halloween. So that's what this one over here is. This one right here, so that you know what its reference is. Very adorable art, both of them very creative, and I love it. Thank you, Get Freaked, for making beautiful art, fan art, and letting me share it on the stream. I really enjoy looking at people's arts and stuff. Woo, sorry chat, now you're not covered anymore. Did I say it wrong? Did I say it wrong, Small? Miley Cyrus, is that wrong? Both Christmas classics, okay. Okay, that's the next one here. Oh, this! Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Don't sneeze, Ziggbee. Can you see me out of there? Which one's the real one? You can't tell. Actually, if I make myself blue, let's see here. I can't make myself a bright blue. There you go. Which one? Which one's real? No, just kidding. Who dis? This is Small Boy 101. She made these beautiful art pieces to use as stickers in the Discord. She made other stickers previously a long time ago and let me use them as stickers, and she updated them all beautiful. I love them. They're really fun to use in chat too. So thank you, Small, for making more fan art and letting me use them stickers in the Discord. It's really cute. Do you hear me, Small? Do you hear me? I feel like I need to yell for some reason. I don't know if I have a favorite though. Like, they're all really cute. No, I don't have a favorite. I like them all. They're adorable. Lastly, wait, did I forget something? I think I forgot something. Lastly, is this is Ocean of Clay. That's an Etsy shop that I say could make beautiful Ziggbee stuff, and so they did. And look at these beautiful pieces. The ones in the far upper left-hand corner was for Halloween. I think most of these are, let's see, 1, 2, some of these are actually sold, I think. But these are some beautiful ornaments Werewolf Billy made. And if you're curious, I know a lot of you know about Werewolf Billy, but since this is going to turn into a magical VOD eventually, for those who don't know who it is, they do sometimes Ziggbee stuff for me, and they give me a little kickback for every time they make something for me and sell it. So yes, that's full disclosure, and those are the pieces I have up right now. There would be more pieces, but I bought 2 already. But I'll show them to you when I get them, so that's pretty exciting, right? I got 2 of them. You want to tell you which ones I got? I'll tell you a little bit, tell you a secret. One's with Ziggbee in a stocking. That's adorable. And one is Anubis. If you know who Anubis is. Who's Leo? I don't know. Who's Leo? No, it's Werewolf Billy. Okay, what am I doing now? I need to go back to my other scene. And lastly, hashtag ad. This is also gonna be a VOD. I know a lot of you already know this already, but since this is gonna be a VOD, for those of you who are sometimes curious if I have merch, I do. I've been holding on to some of it for too long, and eventually it's like, I'll just show it. And if people want it, they want it. If not, they don't. But here it is. I named it Mystic Sail Enchanting Wonders of 2023. Isn't that cool? And that's the web address for the store. Okay, we're doing hashtag ads now. Back to the store. You need that sweater. Multiple people have bought the Ziggbee Moon version in a sweater form, I believe. A couple, at least 2 people have. So that's so far the most popular one out of all of them. Boing, boing. We need to buy everything. No, Tammy Beans, calm down, Tammy Beans. I saw on Werewolf Billy's Etsy shop, you had a screen picture you gave of your like altar of Ziggbee and Sib and stuff. It was beautiful, by the way. Did you buy everything? No, no one bought everything. Okay. Woo, woo. You can't even see me and I'm running around. Listen, I can give you some snacks too, okay? Just a couple. And I'll tell you what we're doing today. Aside from this stuff. Oh, that's a pretty. That's a pretty. This music will, I don't know about this music though. If you want some chips, oh my gosh, I'm eating the I'm eating the chips. If you want some chips, I'll give you some chips, okay? Here you go. I should give you some coffee though or something. Let me see if I have coffee for you, okay? Like, oh, someone's very hungry. You guys eat very fast. There you go. Give you some more chips. Here's some chips. Shh, shh, shh. Don't tell anybody I'm giving you chips. I don't know what your calorie allowance is. What else is on the table? I don't know what is this? Ooh, this is like some kind of squash or something. I don't know what this thing is called, but it looks like a delicious soup. Anyone want to taste a little bit? Get your spoon. Here, you have some little bit, okay? Actually, I'll give it to you. I'll leave it out so you can scoop up some if you want, okay? Here you go. Here you go. I'll put it over there for you. Also, I want to pick that fan up so bad. Is there any coffee or anything? Boing. Desserts. Is this a dessert? Oh, this is the wiggly one. I remember this one. It's a wiggly dessert. I'm not sure if it's sentient or not, so you can eat at your own risk. Woo! Woo. It's very sticky too. It just stays on the plate the whole time. I'm gonna look for a drink in the fridge. Oh, I can pour you coffee. Here you go. Here, I'll pour you some coffee, okay? Here you go. Let's pretend it's going in the cup, and here you go. There's your coffee. Actually, I could just give you the whole thing. Here, take this whole thing. You can drink the whole thing if you want. I think you should put probably some cream and sugar in it, though, to make it taste more delicious. Okay, everybody. So what am I doing? Ads start in 3 minutes. Okay, ads. You're out of control. Everybody, after this, what time is it? I don't know how long I've been streaming for, not even that long. I'm gonna play some games today. Let's do a poll to see what games people would prefer to see me play first today. So after this stream, which I might end in, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes or so, or we'll see how I feel. And then I'll take probably a quick 10, 20 minute break maybe, or maybe half an hour. And then I'll play a game on Twitch. How's that sound? I might play a couple of games tonight, this evening. Cause Sib is just relaxing and taking like food naps. Cause I was taking a little bit of a nap too, cause I ate too much food, so you get sleepy sometimes. I want to see Ziggbee play horror. Small, that was quick jump to horror. Horror. Okay, I can't. That sounds. Never mind. I'm not gonna keep saying it over and over again. That sounds bad. Oh, good idea, Small. Actually, yeah, one of the games is kind of spooky based. So let me go to the computer and do some key typing. Boop, 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 boop. And I'll be right back. But I should be able to still, well, you'll still hear me. And hopefully I don't hit the, what do you call it? The microphone too much when I do this. First things first, I'm going to make a poll. If I can remember where that is. There it is. New poll. What game should I play first? I guess I don't have to write a whole long sentence. Small Saga. Party Animals. What is it called? Lethal Company? I think I spelled lethal wrong. Lethal Company. Let's try to correct that if we can. I don't know. Let's keep it misspelled. And then, is there anything else am I missing? Is that all the games? I guess so. Oh, that is kind of a lot, right? I'm gonna do 1 minute timer. Let's do 2 minute timer for fun, because I want to see the poll. I think I can activate it on stream too. View results, and also we will put it on the stream if we can. Where is it at? The poll. I might edit it though, because you can't see all the poll. let's go ahead and click this and go. Oh, that's not what I want to do. What's that? Oh, that shows the URL of the poll. I guess that's not too bad. Okay, lock that. Let's see what people vote. Keep in mind that Small Saga is kind of sometimes sad and has some trauma. It has the trauma. And let's see here. Lethal Company is kind of spooky. Why does it say New York at the end of the company? Lethal Company is kind of spooky. Has some spooky things. Content warning. There's spooky things in there. And spiders. There's some spiders in there. Anyways, there's some in actually a Small Saga too. Whoa. Whoa. And also flashing lights possibly too. Because it's kind of done in a weird style. On the something. 23 seconds to ads. Lethal Company is funny with others though. Yeah, it's small. I'm gonna play with others. Hopefully I can find enough people to play. At least one other person. Maybe you want to play with me. I don't know. Grumpy, what's this 1,000 bits? Wait, I gotta see stuff because I'm no longer hearing notifications for some unknown reason. Let me see here. Thank you, Grumpy Lycan, for the cheered 1,000 bits. Thank you, Grumpy Lycan. You're very generous. You give direct tips and bits. Thank you, Grumpy Lycan. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Grumpy Lycan. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. It's okay. I have to go to bed early tonight. Thank you for the warning. No problem, Costume One. It's always hard to avoid that though, because like most games always include that in most of them, and it's like, oh no, they're there too. Can you even see the? So let's see, which one? 50-50. Lethal what? No one likes Small Saga. Nobody likes Small Saga. Is that what you're telling me? That's what it sounds like you're telling me, everybody. 50-50. Can I flip a coin? Let's see if I can flip something. What can I flip here that would be like heads or tails? That would not be completely cheating. Do these be thrown? No, those can't be thrown. I think there's some, I don't think I have anything. I don't know if we have anything. What do we do, Kiwi? Kiwi, what do we do? Kiwi, don't poke at them. Kiwi. No, Kiwi, don't poke at them. Listen, Kiwi, just stand over here, okay? So what should I do if it's 50-50, everybody? Party animals funny though? How about this? We'll start with party animals because it's still, well, it's getting later, but it's still early. So since it's 50-50, I'll make the choice, and the choice is this. We'll play party animal for a while, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, okay? And then I'll move to a more spooky game like Lethal Company. So that's what the plan is then after stream. Flip a kiwi. I would like to flip a kiwi, but I can't. Kiwi just kind of floats there and chills. Kiwi, flip a kiwi. Okay, there you go, Kiwi. Sorry, I didn't even shake you that much. Yes, I did actually. I did it on purpose. How long has Kiwi been there? Oh, I just grabbed Kiwi right now, so very short time. Kiwi wasn't there the whole time. Kiwi's not doing any tricks, I don't think. How long? Okay, I've read that twice. Sky says you have gone live with what? And I love, wouldn't you know what's going on with Small Saga? Also, it's sad. Yes, it is sad, Sky. I'll probably play Small Saga pretty soon though. Hopefully sometimes, if I don't play today, probably sometime before Monday, hopefully. We'll see though. I'll set an announcement if I do. Plus you get to see the VODs too. Sounds like a plan. Oh yeah. Whoa. 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 Just jumping around. You all ready? You're all ready? Is there anything else I need to share with you all? I can share like basic stuff if you want. What does it say, Bruce? What about Bruce? Who's Bruce? Oh yeah, I say more Pokemons. I haven't played any Pokemon in a long time. I just played that one Pokemon game on stream a while ago. From Small Saga. Oh, Bruce is gay. Bruce, which one's Bruce? I know there's the bards. I forgot their names already. There's a squirrel, and I forgot the other. And I think they're they're lovers or something. They have secrets. They have LGBTQ plus representation to some extent in the game, possibly, which is nice, which I like very much in Small Saga. So anyways, yeah, as far as what I plan to do, as far as like, I don't know, life stuff, I don't know, you want to hear about what my life stuff is doing? I'm enjoying blowing leaves. That's fun sometimes to me now. I ordered a new head thing to cover my little ears, so I don't hear the loud noise of the blower, the leaf blower, so it doesn't break my ears, which is nice. And I'll blow the leaves probably one more time this season, and it should be done for a while, so that's cool. Plus, Mama Sib's gonna visit pretty soon, so I have to clean up the house. Yes, thank you, Sam, man. That's what I've been doing for like I've done it so long. I probably spent, let's see, this month total hours of leaf blowing. Let's see, one, I don't know how many actually. Two, probably 4 hours or so or more, I think, of leaf blowing activities. It could be longer than that though. I don't keep track, but I know it's been like a couple days of work. Boing, 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 boing. What does it say? That leaves run in fear of Ziggbee. They should. It makes me want to almost have even a more powerful leaf blower. But I have a backpack one. Those are pretty powerful and it's gas powered. So it's better than the electric ones typically, because electric ones only last for like an hour or half an hour on a battery pack. But it's good for most people that don't have like a lot of leaves. Like you can use electric one for these kind of leaves. But if you live in a forest with a huge trees, then they will dump all the leaves all over the place, and it's a lot, too much actually. Thanks for the gift sub. Oh, you got a gift sub. Am I missing stuff? I'm missing stuff because I'm not hearing notifications at the moment. Costumed One, thank you for giving a gifted sub, and the lucky individual that got it is Little Sleepy Wolf. Congratulations, Little Sleepy Wolf. Congratulations. Thank you, Costume Kiwi, for being a big community supporter and giving gifted subs on the stream. Boing, boing. Wait, can I get on the shelves? I get on the shelves and everything. Get on the shelf. Wait, can I go? Where is this? I can go outside? Wait. Oh, come outside with me. That sounds weird, though. Come here, let's go. Ooh, put your jackets on. Come on, let's go. Put your jackets on. We'll stay warm by the fire, okay? We're gonna burn some leaves and do some illegal burning. Maybe burn some tires, who knows? Let's find out. What is this on the... Ooh! Some fishes. Can I grab the fishes? And a mushroom? A mushroom is cooking? I don't know why we're burning leaves though. Can you be doing that stuff? Oh, they're cooking! They're not just burning the leaves, they're cooking sweet potatoes! Sweet potatoes! Can I eat the sweet potatoes? No. Can I pull it off? No. Okay, I had some sweet potatoes today. I think a little bit. They're very yummy. Well, I'll put this over here. Whoa! Oh, I should rake! Oh, I like this rake actually. Let me rake a little bit too. I don't usually use a rake though because there's too many leaves. I usually use a blower. But sometimes if the leaves get too big, you know, if the leaves get too big in piles, I push it. I use this upside down and I push it. I push the pile closer to where I need to be. Where it needs to be. Yes, I do that. I also use this, yes. You can use a tarp too. You can put a big tarp down and then rake some of the leaves on the tarp and then just pull the tarp to the area you need to pull it to. Yeah, just to give you some tips. Give you some pro tips, okay, everybody? Woo! There you go, put this over here. No, you make sure that you're, what? In there then? No, there's none of that in there, Sandman. There shouldn't, actually I did see some some deer stuff, yeah. They're like little pellets. So yeah, I actually did see some, but nothing else aside from that, maybe. Thankfully. Whoa. Are you talking, wait, what are you talking to Small for? What does Small say? Did you ever do grass fights in summer? Grass fights? What is that? Wait, what is this anonymous stuff? Can I hear the sound effects? Anonymous, who's the anonymous gifter that did that? Thank you for the anonymous gifter of 5 subscriptions. I'll read the people who got the awesome gifted subscriptions. We got one to Kuru. Sorry if I say your name wrong. I'm terrible at reading things. Xanos, KS Pop, GU, Stardog Scramps, Xander's Gamer, and Just Tony got a gifted subscription, which is awesome. Who's the anonymous gifter though? Grumpy Like It, did you do that too? Costume Kiwi, you did that? Costume Kiwi, Costume One. Did you do that? Did you gift 5 people additional subscriptions? Thank you so much for that and supporting this content. So sweet. Thank you for that very much. I don't know why I'm so nice sometimes. Oh, what do I prefer people to be mean? No, I don't. Was it me this time? Yeah, it was Costume One. Thank you, Costume One. You're so sweet. You're so very sweet. Who, me? Yes, you. Yes, you. Everyone who's ready to take a break and go play some Party Animals, okay? Okay. What did the small say? I can be mean if you want me to. No, don't be mean. I was just kidding. Please don't be mean. Please don't be mean, Small. Please be nice, okay? Thank you. Woo! Woo! Hype, big hypes. Let me see. I'm gonna look at something really quick. I'm curious because I know when you don't stream, obviously when you don't stream for a long time, your numbers start to drop significantly on Twitch. So thank you for the subscriptions to help boost it back up some, which is nice. 30 viewers! Wow! That's a lot of viewers to everybody. Is everyone okay? I'm gonna go for real though. Before I go though, okay, this is a plan. I'm gonna take a 20-30 minute break. We're gonna play Party Animals for a while, and after that, we're gonna play spooky games. So yeah, we'll just keep having fun tonight. How's that sound? Sounds like a good plan, hopefully. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? It was probably a mouse. No, I don't know. I'm ready. Sandman is ready to go. Before I go though, I want to again thank everyone who's been very generous and sweet. Thank you for giving the gifted subscription costume. And for the very nice direct tips and bits, Grumpy Lycan, and other people who resubscribed. Thank you for that. And remember that you lurkers, you're loved because you help out streamers a lot. So thank you for lurking and thank you for watching. Just watching is a huge support. I hope you all have a wonderful holidays, whatever it is you celebrate. May it be Thanksgiving or other wonderful holidays. And I'll give you beans. Here's some beans. I'm gonna give you wiggle beans. Wiggle beans in your direction. And I'll also give you boons and blessings if you need it, because sometimes it's hard during the holidays. So there's some boons and blessings. That didn't help that the music got weird at the end there. Boons and blessings to all of you. And I'll give you hugs too if you want, okay? And then I'm gonna head out. But I'll be back for playing games. Who wants hugs? Come here. I'll give you some hugs, all right? Whoa, I got way too close. I'll give you hugs, only if you want though, okay? Come here. Big group hug with everybody who wants one. There you go. I'm proud of all of you, okay? Remember, what is that? So what is that, Small? Why is that a butt wiggle? Is that even allowed on Twitch anymore? That seems like a TOS violation. I'm proud of all of you, okay? Thank you, everybody. You're all so sweet. And beautiful beans. Boing, 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 boing. I'm gonna zoom these away and I'll see you shortly, hopefully. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great eating food day. That's basically every day. Hey, goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna zoom you this way. Oh, I'm in the trash pile. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Platonically, of course. Platonically. Zoomies, go.